This is JPG Radio.
Wake up, Mr. West. Wake up, Mr. West. I had a different idea for episode 2 of this podcast. I was going to speak about some of the albums that I've been listening to recently. And I definitely will get into that. But damn, Kanye, dude. I didn't think it could get much worse than what it already has been for the last couple of months. But, you know, it was brought to my attention that Kanye dropped a song called Cousins, depicting some very graphic details of his upbringing. And I just want to kind of like talk about Kanye in general, talk about some of his music that he's put out previous to all this nonsense, talk about a bit of the nonsense that he's been brewing up in the laboratory for a while now. And yeah, it's just honest to God crazy. It's just honest to God crazy bullshit. And I think, honestly, because, you know, this is not anything new. Kanye is known to spark controversy before an album release, you know, to garner attention, right? But it's never been this crazy. You know, he's done some really fucking crazy things. And for the most part, it's kind of like semantics, you know, like drama with Kim and all that stuff. Like, it's just like kind of celebrity, pseudo-celebrity type bullshit, right? Or not really pseudo-celebrity. They're both A-list celebrities, but I don't know. It's always been kind of like celebrity hoo-ha. But it's gotten political, and it's gotten extremely controversial. You know, when he started putting the MAGA hat on, and I'm not going to go too much into politics. I'm a Canadian, but I do think the MAGAs are, you know, radical right. I wouldn't even say they're Republican anymore due to the fact that, you know, Donald Trump is tearing down the Constitution and reconstructing it to fit his needs and to fit his agenda. I would consider Donald Trump a terrorist, but I'm not going to talk about politics too much. But even though I do love politics, but as soon as he put the MAGA hat on, man, that's when I knew that we were going down a road that I don't think we could recover from as Kanye fans. And I say Kanye fans current, but I'm not a Kanye fan anymore. I actually don't listen to his music anymore due to all of this nonsense. I'm not someone who like really advocates for cancel culture. I think cancel culture is really stupid. I think people can come back from the mistakes that they have made. I believe in redemption 110%. If I didn't, then I'd be a hypocrite, because I've definitely tried to redeem myself in personal aspects of my life. But this is a podcast about music and not about me. So we're going to keep it to music. But I don't believe in cancel culture all too much. And, you know, when Trump was doing his first term, Kanye was very supportive of him. And recently on Twitter, I've seen like a lot of Kanye clips resurfacing from that era. And as much as I thought that was crazy, I just labeled it as, oh, Ye is doing Ye. You know, he's just doing his thing. He's going to roll out something, you know, and, you know, that's it, right? I think it was Donda that he was rolling out at the time. But then it got a little bit more crazy, right? It got into the Alex Jones interview where he had that ski mask on, or like that all black balaclava, and, you know, talking about Hitler and how Hitler was a great dude for, you know, inventing a fucking highway, you know, and that's when I knew that something was like, it wasn't clicking. It wasn't clicking for me anymore. I was like, oh, this is like the last straw. Like, this is crazy. He ended up going back and kind of like not apologizing, but, you know, like going back to more normal things. Like, he never actually came out and was like, fuck the Jews, right? Like, he was criticizing like his Jewish doctor at one point in that infamous clip, but he never really was like being extremely anti-Semitic. But I don't know. He was claiming to be Christian, and, you know, if you're a Christian, you know that Jesus was Jewish. So I was like, maybe he's conflicted, you know. Vultures 1 came out. I actually enjoyed Vultures 1 for what it was. Vultures 2 was pretty shit. It was pretty shit. There was a couple of songs on there that I was really hyped, because I do have all of Kanye's Elite, you know, discography on my computer, and 530 was actually my favorite Kanye song for the longest time, and I was really happy to see it actually appear on Vultures 2. That was a highlight of the album for me. But it was hard to listen to Vultures 2, especially with all this stuff going on. And between Vultures 1 and 2, there was a lot of stuff going on too. So I was just like, oh my gosh, Kanye, can we stop being so fucking crazy so I can actually enjoy this music? But he just doubled down. He doubled down by being an anti-Semite, by spewing hatred, by not seeking help, right? You know, there was this whole meme of Kanye on the nitrous, and I thought it was a meme. I honestly thought it was a meme, and like, you know, the media was like pulling it out of context. But no, he's actually confirmed that he's addicted to nitrous, which is fucking crazy. And, you know, he's just doubling down with this racist, fucking heinous bullshit, right? Like, he's dressing up as a KKK member. He's, like, outright just tweeting pictures of fucking Hitler. I'm not even going to go through all the tweets that he's been putting out recently. They are fucking horrendous. They are disgusting. They are crazy. And we've gotten to the point in the controversy stage, because we all know that, well, I won't say we all know, but a few of us that are listening to this podcast know that Kanye was set to release an album called Bully. And in typical Kanye fashion, the album never dropped, or it hasn't dropped by the time of me recording this voice message, or this podcast, I should say. But, you know, most typically he does controversy. He then kind of like reprimands his actions, kind of says something that, you know, appeases us in our hearts, like, oh, you know, Kanye's just misunderstood and he's kind of crazy, and, you know, he's actually this crazy, like, insane artist, and, you know, we hope the best for you, Kanye, get better, you know, get well soon. And then he drops his album, and then we all listen to it because we're, you know, sympathizing with Kanye. And that's his typical album rollout. This is not anything new. This has been spoken about on like countless times. And this song, Cousins, is kind of him trying to get that reprimandation that he's looking for, or trying to reprimand his mistakes and getting that validation from the public that he's looking for. Because he speaks about him giving his cousin oral sex. And if Kanye didn't say all these things, basically endorsing the Nazi Party of Germany, or I should say Nazi Germany. Germany's a great country now. I'm not trying to like start anything. But if Kanye didn't come out and start endorsing Nazi Germany and Hitler and being an anti-Semite and wearing the Ku Klux Klan wardrobe, attire, whatever, then I would have been, you know, oh wow, okay, he's coming out with this this is a crazy song, and I kind of feel for him, you know, he's going through it, you know. But I can't endorse it. I can't listen to it without, like, I have listened to it. I'm not gonna sit there and not listen to a Kanye track or a Kanye record. Like, that's insane. Like, as much as I don't support the guy, and before people comment like, oh, you're supporting him by listening to his music, yeah, I know, but like, you have to understand that I've grown up listening to Kanye. So obviously I'm curious about him moving forward. Do I endorse what he's doing? Hell no. Like, what he's doing is disgusting. But I am curious about the music he's making. And Cousins is a great beat. Honestly, Kanye is just a great production, a great producer. He's a great producer. And no matter how insane he is, he'll always be a great producer. Sorry, the hiccups are coming back again. But, yeah, he's a great producer. So the beat is really great. But the rest of the song is just complete trash. Like, complete fucking trash. And this is his point in the controversy stage, where he's trying to get people to really feel for him. Like, oh my gosh, guys, like, I was raped. I was sexually assaulted by my cousin. My cousin made me suck on his dick. But I guess he doesn't really paint it that way, in all fairness. He does say that, like, him and his cousin they don't know what they're doing, and, you know, they're just watching porn, and then, you know, he starts sucking on his cousin or whatever. But regardless, you know, it's still like, oh, look, guys, like, please give me sympathy. You know, I've been going through a rough time since I was a kid. You know, I've had this trauma, but it's really hard to, and I'm not falling victim to it. And I know a lot of people on Twitter are. That doesn't make the majority of people. I'm not saying that it's the majority. I'm just saying, I've seen Twitter accounts be like, oh, like, Kanye's a misunderstood genius. And it's like, no, hold him accountable for what he's doing, man. He's literally dressing up as a Ku Klux Klan member. He's literally tweeting out pictures of fucking Hitler and putting a heart emoji. Like, it's stop. Just stop. Stop advocating for this guy, you know. Oh, but he made My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up. That album's not even good to begin with. That's my most controversial Kanye take, is that's actually my least favorite album by Kanye. And it's not because of like the overhype and I'm trying to be cool or whatever. It's literally just not that good of an album. If anything, Monster on that album featuring Nicki and Rick Ross and I think Jay-Z is the worst song in his discography, hands down. Like, Monster is a terrible song. The beat is atrocious. The fucking verses on there are dog shit. I think everyone on that track put out their worst verse of all time. Like, Nicki sounds like garbage. I mean, Nicki's also just gone super downhill. Like, I don't know what's going on with Nicki, but like that last, what was it? Pink Friday 2? Oh my God, what a fucking trash album. Holy shit. Nothing. It sucks because Pink Friday 1 is like a classic, like goated album. But Pink Friday 2 is so shit. Anyway, we're not talking about Nicki Minaj. But, you know, people are just like endorsing Kanye. They're just endorsing Kanye and being like, oh, it's Kanye. Like, you know, this is his routine. But it's like, no, we can't keep advocating for this nonsense. Right? Like, you know, he dropped a second track before Cousins called World War III, where he goes, how can I be Hitler when I'm a fucking blank? You know, I'm very pasty white. I'm not even going to attempt to say this word. But basically just saying like, oh, like I can talk all I want about Hitler and I can talk about Nazis all I want, but I can never be a Nazi because I'm black. And that's not how it works. That's such a deranged and psycho way of looking at the situation, of being like, oh, I can't be a Nazi. I can't be anti-Semitic because I'm black. It doesn't even make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense at all, actually. It doesn't make sense at all. So anyone, and I don't know, I'm not someone who hates, you know, everyone has their own opinions, but there's certain opinions, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, like there's certain opinions that you just can't back down on, right? Like, if someone were to tell me they're a pedophile, I'm not keeping it cordial, sorry. I'm not keeping it cordial. If someone tells me they're a pedophile, I'm not giving them respect. Like, I'm calling the police. I'm beating the shit out of you. I don't know. Like, there's certain things in life that your opinion does truly matter. Like, sorry. If someone's like, oh, I don't like Swiss cheese and I love Swiss cheese, I'm not going to get mad because I don't like Swiss cheese. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the price of rice in China. It doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. But there's certain morals that have been instilled in me, whether that be from like the people I surround myself with or myself, that I just can't back down from, right? And as in this example, like someone who's a pedophile who's taking advantage of children, like that's something that I fucking cannot endorse, and I will probably beat the shit out of you if I ever found that out. But the same goes for what Kanye is like distributing right now. On World War III, he's talking about how he can't be a Nazi or he can't be an anti-Semite because he's black. And whoever agrees with him, I don't like you. I really don't like you. I don't say that often. I don't generalize often. I think that's super unjust. And as I said before, like, I'm not someone for cancel culture, and I think everyone can be reprimanded, right? But there's certain things, like I just said previous about the pedophile example, is that like there are certain things that, and moral integrities that I hold. And if you can go out there and spew hate and then hide behind it by being like, oh, I can't be an anti-Semite, I'm black, that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. So, yeah, I'm getting a little bit off topic. I'm getting a little bit personal with this one, I guess. But it's just that when you're talking about Kanye, it's just like it gets personal. It gets political. It just gets this way. And that's exactly what Kanye wants, right? Kanye wants this controversy. So I make this video on him. And like the 12 people that are going to watch this are like thinking of Kanye. And then they have their own output and their own input on Kanye. And whatever the case may be. So back to Kanye. He's on his record release cycle where he's looking for sympathy from everyone, saying that, hey, listen, I sucked off my cousin. And, you know, what I'm wondering is if that's the same cousin that stole his hard drive back in like 2006, did he suck off that cousin and then that cousin had the audacity to steal his hard drive. That's the honest question I've been asking this entire time to myself. But that'd be insane. Imagine his cousin. He gave his cousin Dome, and then his cousin robbed him. That'd be so fucking funny. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, so we're on that Kanye cycle, and I'm just gonna say it. I will be listening to whatever Kanye project comes out in the future because I'm very curious. I'm curious for two reasons. I'm curious because Kanye is so off the deep end, especially after his relationship with Kim ended, that like no one's really paying attention to him, right? Like he's going on tangents, talking about, I love Tyler the Creator. He's my daughter's favorite musician. And then turning around and saying, oh, Tyler the Creator, I don't understand how people like your music. You're a fucking bitch, right? Talking about Kendrick and being like, oh yeah, Kendrick, kill Drake, kill him. Let me do a Like That remix. And it's, first of all, the Like That remix is atrocious. It's disgusting. It's terrible. It's one of the worst fucking Kanye songs to ever exist. I would even say it's worse than the Scoopity Poop song, right? That's just my opinion though. So he drops the Like That remix, basically like, oh, I'm gonna jump on this bandwagon and go after Drake and go after fucking J. Cole. J. Cole, make the pussy dry. I can't even think of a Drake line. Some of the worst shit Kanye has ever written. But regardless, then he turns around and starts dissing on Kendrick, right? Like this guy's everywhere. This guy, and no one's giving him the light of day. Like he's been dissing Kendrick on Twitter for like the last 2 months. Kendrick is not gonna make a song about Kanye, or if he does, it'll be like a sneak diss or just a throwaway bar in a song like, oh, crazy like Kanye or something. But I don't think Kendrick will ever address Kanye. I don't know what side you're on in that Drake and Kendrick beef, but whether you're against him or with him, I think Kendrick is like of a higher echelon than Kanye by a long shot, and he's not going to punch down, and he's not going to attack Kanye. Now, if you're looking at discography, Kanye definitely buries Kendrick in discography, but like morality wise and like just being a good Samaritan, like even if you have your gripes with Kendrick Lamar, which I completely understand, I have my own gripes. I spoke about it in my last podcast when we talked about him performing with Playboy Cardi, but then like calling Drake a deadbeat dad. I do have my gripes with Kendrick, and Kendrick does have amazing songs out there for sure, 100% songs that I go back to consistently, but Kanye does have more hit records, and I do think Kanye musically has more talent than Kendrick, but it doesn't matter. We're not here to debate that, but it just fucking doesn't make any sense how you're gonna make a Like That remix dissing Drake and J. Cole. Kendrick doesn't reach out to you, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I never liked Kendrick anyway. Also, Kendrick has a song with you on on Life of Pablo called No More Parties in LA. Like, I don't know what's going on. And another reason why I'm very invested in this new Kanye album is because Dave Blunt's apparently is writing the entire album. Like, this doesn't even make sense, guys. This doesn't even make fucking sense. Dave Blunt's. And if you don't know who Dave Blunt's is, look him up. It's Dave Blunt's, like literally Dave, Blunts. He is an artist who is honestly known for being morbidly obese. Okay, I've made a video on Dave Blunt's in the past. It's on my Instagram. You can check it out if you want to. Where I kind of dissect some of the Dave Blunt songs. I thought Dave Blunt's had a promising career, if I'm being honest with you. He's not. He's a likable person, and he's not like. He's not a bad rapper, right? He's a likable person. He's not a bad rapper. Plus, he's extremely fucking huge. So he has like that virality. Am I using that right? Virality of being like just some fat ass who can't stand up on stage. Like, I see more people talking about Dave Blunt's not being able to stand up at his own concerts than his actual music. But I've never really seen any hate comments about Dave Blunt's. Even now, actually, like now that he's actively working with Kanye and writing his songs, which both of them have actually, like, they've literally confirmed this. Both of them, both Kanye and Dave Blunt, have confirmed that Dave Blunt is writing the majority of his fucking tracks on his upcoming album. But like, even after he's publicly endorsed Kanye and used his own Instagram to spew Kanye propaganda because Kanye's been fucking banned on Twitter and Instagram, he still hasn't been getting any hate. Dave Blunt is just a likable dude. And I feel so bad for him that he's getting like wrapped up in this bullshit. Because imagine being in Dave Blunt's seat, right? You're coming up as an artist. You're gaining virality. You don't know if you're going to be a one-hit wonder and like just pass under the rug by this time next year, because that's typically how artists, that's typically how music works, right? Like, there's a lot of artists who have come up and had like one or two songs and then die down. This is nothing new. It's called a one-hit wonder, right? But it happens a lot more as of recent. And the difference is that like we have the internet now, so you can go back and be like, oh, I wonder what so-and-so is doing now. And then you look at his Instagram and you see that he's selling like some sort of shit coin or something. And if you're in Dave Blunt's shoes, right? His massive fucking shoes, you gotta be like, wow, am I gonna just die off literally because of my obesity, or like just like you know, career wise? Sorry, I shouldn't make fat jokes. I'll restart this. Sorry. If you're in Dave Blunt's shoes, you have to wonder if your career's gonna die or not, right? If you're a one-hit wonder or not. And again, Dave Blunt's does have some crazy ass songs that definitely just garnered a lot of like hits on TikTok and reels and shit. And then Kanye comes in, right? So you're debating like, oh, how do I continuously keep up the mantra of my music? How do I continuously progress with music while maintaining my current fan base and obtaining new fan base? And then Kanye comes along, one of the biggest artists in the fucking world, and wants to collaborate with you, right? You got to put yourself in his shoes for a second. You're just coming up. You are a brand new artist. You don't know if your career is going to die tomorrow. And the biggest artist in the world, or not the biggest artist in the world, but one of the biggest artists in the world is offering you a massive deal. A massive deal. I'm not talking a record deal. I'm talking like a massive deal where it's like, hey, Dave, I'm going to publicly talk about you. I'm going to publicly tell people that you're writing my fucking album. And I want you to, like, I don't know, post a couple of tweets that I've put out that haven't made it because I'm banned, and, you know, just talk good about me and I'll change your life. Now, from Dave Blunt's perspective, if I was in Dave Blunt's shoes, I would be extremely tempted, but I still wouldn't have done it, especially with the controversies going on. If this was pre-Nazi Kanye, then yeah, I would have been fucking in that shit 110%, right? But because Dave has already seen his like hateful anti-Semitic rhetoric, it makes me wonder, like, I don't know, like where Dave's morality lies at this point, and like clearly he's just chasing a bag, right? Kind of like what Ty Dolla $ign say? I think he said he makes music with Kanye to pay the bills. That's what Ty Dolla $ign said. So maybe he's pulling a Ty Dolla $ign and he's collaborating with Ye just to garner a massive following. But like, I don't know, it's crazy, dude. I saw a clip the other day. Kanye tried to stream on Twitch, right? He got banned like 7 minutes into his Twitch stream, which is fucking crazy. And he was talking about Dave Blunt and how him and Dave Blunt are like Dr. Dre and Eminem. He was like, dude, I'm like Dre and Dave is like Eminem. And I'm like, this is, what the fuck? You like Dre? Sure. I'll give you that. You definitely can produce, Kanye, and Dre can definitely produce as well. So I can give you that for sure. right? Musically wise. I'm not talking about any other thing besides musically, by the way. But to compare Dave Blunts with Eminem is so fucking crazy. I don't care if you hate Eminem. I don't care if you think he's a culture vulture. I don't care if you think he's a fucking, I don't know, Satanist or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of controversy surrounding Eminem in itself as well. But like, to compare Dave Blunts with Eminem is absolutely absurd. There's no way. Even the biggest Eminem hater could be like, yeah, no, this is crazy. There's no way that Dave Blunts is better than Eminem. There's no fucking way. Or even on par with Eminem. There's no fucking way. Dave Blunts' best album so far. Now, I granted, Dave Blunts has just started his career. Dave Blunts' best album so far doesn't even come close to Revival. Revival is Eminem's worst album by far. There's not a chance. It doesn't even come close to that album. Dude, I don't like Revival at all. By the way, I'm a huge Eminem fan. Or more or less now, but growing up, I definitely listened to a lot of Eminem, and I would say the Eminem Show as an album is definitely in my top 5 albums of all time. I'm not talking just rap. I'm talking like all albums, all genres. Eminem Show is definitely in my top 5. Amazing project. I strongly suggest anyone listen to that from cover to cover. But like there's no fucking way Dave Blunts is on par with Eminem. There's no way. And like, we can talk about this till we're blue in the face. We all know Kanye's crazy. We all know that he's just going through it, you know. But like I said previously, we can't forget to hold him accountable for what he said. He's gonna come out and he's gonna talk about his cousin raping him, right? Or I shouldn't say raping him. The cousin did not like sexually assault Kanye. It seems like in the song, well, maybe he did, I don't know, but in the song, he portrays it as they were both curious, they both had no idea what they're doing, and he just ended up sucking his cousin off. You know, someone was talking about how Kanye's a victim. I personally don't think that, just based on how he portrayed it in the song, you know what I mean? Like, he was talking about how they both didn't know what they were doing. I think Kanye and his cousin were both victims of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for now? Naivety, being naive, victims of being naive. Is naivety even a word? I don't even know. But regardless, they definitely were victims of being naive, but they weren't victims of each other. And Kanye did not get raped by his cousin, according to his song. But still, it's a crazy song. And we're in that stage right now where Kanye's trying to get back some of the fans that he's lost, because I think he's realized that this controversy right now is something that he can't bounce back from. Because it's kind of like a game for him, you know. The Taylor Swift incident where like he grabbed the microphone and just started like, you know, hollering at everybody and talking about how Taylor Swift didn't deserve the Grammy or whatever the case, and it should have been Beyonce or whatever, you know. That in itself was super rude and polarizing, and people definitely did not like Kanye for that. But it was nothing even fucking close to, yeah, I love Hitler. He created a highway. Also, fuck the Jews. Also, let me wear this KKK mask. Also, like 10 other fucking different insane, crazy, polarizing, controversial topics. You know what I mean? Like, it hasn't been this crazy. And it's like he keeps upping it to see what he can do. And I think at this point in the game, now that he's doubled down on this Hitler thing, which he walked away from almost scot-free. I just want to put that out there. He walked away from that first Hitler fucking incident almost scot-free. He's talking about how he loves Hitler on the Alex Jones podcast. He made Alex Jones look like a fucking sane human being, which is insane. Only Kanye could make Alex Jones look like a sane human being, okay? He walked away from that completely scot-free, dropped vultures, did numbers, okay? And then he's like, oh, let me just double down on this. He almost lost his entire career. If it's crazy, I can't believe I'm saying this, but if it wasn't for the Palestine and Israeli war right now, Kanye would have probably lost his entire career. Because people started hating Jews and started, like, you know, being anti-Semitic. I'm not going to get into that war, by the way. I'm not going to get into the war. I'm just going to say that both parties are definitely doing some crazy stuff. And Hamas is definitely not a good organization. But the innocent Palestinians, my heart goes out to you, and I hope everything gets better in Gaza. That's all I'm going to say on the subject. But regardless, because of this war, people started being anti-Semitic a little bit more than usual. And Kanye got away with it scot-free because the entire world was looking at Israel like, what the fuck are you doing? Right? So he got away with this because of a fucking 2,000-year-old feud. Okay? This is crazy. He lined it up so perfectly. And then he does some insane crazy shit, talking about Hitler again, talking about KKK, talking about sucking off his cousin, going off on Twitter, like insane, absolutely fucking jaw-dropping, insane stuff, man. It's crazy. The only good thing that's come out of this is that Kanye is a Trump supporter. He did not vote for Biden. He says that in his song. He said, I voted for Trump. I didn't vote for Biden. And it kind of shows, like, I'm not saying that all people who voted for for Trump are crazy, because I know a lot of Republicans, if not the majority of Republicans, don't see Donald Trump as a Republican anymore. It's actually a pretty crazy event, almost like an event horizon, where a lot of people have realized that their presidential elect is not really a president, but more like a dictator. And he's like I said previously, he's like rebuilding the Constitution and all this stuff. Like Donald Trump is doing a lot of heinous stuff in the United States of America, directly in front of everyone's face. And the only good thing about this Kanye crazy fucking like jaw-dropping incident is that it kind of just makes all the MAGAs look even crazier, because Kanye was a big MAGA head, and so it just makes everything make sense in that regard. It's like, okay, now I understand you MAGAs, dude. Your MAGAs are. Anyway, I shouldn't get into this too much, but yeah, Kanye definitely insane. And it's sad because I want to talk about some of the good Kanye has done before I finish this podcast. He has made groundbreaking albums. Absolutely groundbreaking albums. I said previously that, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is my least favorite Kanye album of all time. I think it's terrible. I think it's trash. I honestly think it's like a 3 on 10. I'm not pulling that from Anthony Fantano. That's my genuine actual review of the album. I think most of it is terrible. Runaway is like one of the only good songs on that album. The rest of it's fucking trash. But besides that album, there hasn't really been a bad Kanye album. Yeezus is really good. Life of Pablo is fucking fantastic. College Dropout is amazing. Late Registration's amazing. Graduation is fucking insane, right? It's like the meme, right? Oh, but he made Graduation. He can't, you gotta cut him some slack. He made Graduation. That's the whole meme going on Twitter right now. But it's true. Graduation is an amazing album. Does it negate what he's been doing recently? No, but it's an amazing album nonetheless. Ye. Ye is a great album too. I like Ye. Kids See Ghosts. Production on that is next. I don't even like Kid Cudi as an artist all too much. Nothing against him. I just don't like him as an artist. And I really enjoy Kid Cudi on that. I think Kid Cudi fucking balls out on that. And the production on that is fucking crazy. Vultures 1 and 2 is pretty good. Vultures 2 being probably my second least favorite Kanye album. Right after it probably goes My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy as my least favorite, and then Vultures 2. I'm definitely forgetting a bunch. There's definitely a couple albums that I'm forgetting. What am I forgetting right now? Donda's great. Oh yeah, Donda Part 2. Donda Part 2, where I think it's Junya Part 2 is just a fucking insane song with like I think that West African artist, I forget her name, but she's so good on that track. Holy shit. Almost all the Part 2 songs go hard. Even like 5 Foreign goes hard. I think the Baby's on that album too. Donda 2 with the Jack Harlow song goes fucking crazy. All of Kanye's unreleased stuff, for the most part, is really good. Fuck, I'm forgetting an album for sure. What album am I forgetting right now? There's an album I'm forgetting 110%. Oh, 808s and Heartbreaks. Yeah, forgot about that one. Great album. Yeah. Yeah, no, Kanye's had some fucking amazing albums, man. And it's sad to see him go out like this, because I can't support him. You know, even if he comes back and he's like, oh, like, guys, I got fixed and I'm not doing nitrous anymore, and, you know, I don't like Hitler, or I just can't unsee what I'm seeing right now, you know? All the travesties. And I also feel bad for his kids, you know? Imagine his kids, they're living in, like, Silicon Valley. Or, no, they're not living in Silicon Valley. I don't know anything about LA. They're living in the hills, I'm assuming, you know, with their grandmother, who's like a mogul. Their entire families are moguls, you know. The mom has a sex tape, you know. There's a ton of controversies just within that Kardashian family alone. And then you have Kanye, who's just like off his fucking rocker, who's just like, so not only are his kids getting brainwashed by the Kardashians and whatever they're fucking doing, because let's be real, it's all brainwashing. It's all like, you know, sheep. Yeah, I don't mean to be an asshole, but it's true, you know. It's just like a bunch of sheep shit, in my opinion. Nothing insane, like nothing that's gonna, like, you know, cause World War III to happen, but it's still like, you know, brainwashing of sorts. And then you have Kanye, who's off his fucking chain, just going absolute berserk. Imagine his kids and how they feel. You know, they're getting ripped apart by, you know, business mommy who thinks she's a lawyer, and daddy who thinks he's a fucking Nazi. Like, it's just crazy. I feel really bad for his kids, man. His kids will never live a normal life. They're born into stardom, and they're probably just like, what's happening to daddy? You know what I mean? And like, something I don't like about the Kardashians, and this is just like a personal thing of mine, is that it seems like they don't really spend time with their kids, because they're like all over the world and shit all the time. You know, like, if you watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, or like the later seasons, I put it on as background noise sometimes, because like it's just so funny to me, and how like they live like this gross rich life in comparison to like me, who's just like making a fucking salad in my kitchen. And you know, I see like what was it, Travis Baker and whatever the other sister is, they got married, and like they were in Milan or whatever, and they're all over like Italy and stuff, and they have kids of their own at home, you know, and they're not there, and they're gone for like months at a time and stuff. It just seems like it's a terrible dynamic for Kanye's kids specifically. You know what I mean? Like, daddy can't be there because he's too busy like trying to reorganize the KKK. Mommy is too busy, like, I don't know, doing Skims, doing an advert for a Beats pill. Some crazy weird shit going on. And like, I don't know. I just feel bad for his kids, I guess. Those are the guys who took the real brunt of it, unfortunately. But yeah, this is episode 2. This is wild. I think I'm going to re-listen to this and be like, oh my God, Zach, you got to pull out like a paper or like a loose leaf and put some bullet points down, because I'm someone who gets really off track really easily. And so, and sometimes I don't segue properly. So this is definitely like a trial and error type of thing. I hope this episode sounds okay. I hope people can actually follow it. My friend the other day actually messaged me. He goes, I would have loved to see this like with your face. You know what I mean? Like it would be cool to see it with your face. And it's something that I might do. But you know, the goal is for it to be live streamed, and then have my face attached to it. But for the time being, since I don't really have time to just set up the live stream and just do it live, and, you know, I'd rather just like record it on my own time and then just throw it in the editing software and, just throw it up on YouTube. Yeah. So that's episode 2, man. Kanye and his cousin who got his cousin who he sucked off and then stole his laptop. Or sorry, no, he sucked off his cousin and his cousin stole his laptop. His cousin stole his top and then stole his laptop. Stole his top and then stole his laptop. Damn, that cousin crazy, bro. That cousin is fucking crazy. I can't even listen to Family Business anymore. This is family business. I'm sucking on my boy's nuts and his penis. Nah, stop, man. I shouldn't laugh. Because whether or not Kanye's a Nazi, he's still I don't. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna laugh, bro. This guy's trying to bring back Nazi Germany. He's trying to bring back the KKK, dude. I can't get over this, man. I can't get over this, dude. Dressing up as a KKK member on a fucking academic stream, dude. Holy smokes. And how is DJ Academic still a thing, dude? Isn't he like a fucking borderline pedophile? Actually, I saw the controversy of him talking to some kid about sex, this 14-year-old kid or this 13-year-old kid about sex, and it's just so appalling. Where, same thing as Kanye, man. Where do you get the audacity to say these things? Do you guys not have forward thinking? That doesn't exist to you? You can't forward think? Forward thinking isn't a thing that you know? How do you guys get caught in these predicaments, How does Kanye get caught in these predicaments where he's saying some neck shit all the time? I wonder how it's like to be in that brain. And I honestly don't think it's staged either. A lot of people are oh, it's staged, he's just doing this to garner notoriety. But it's not true. It can't be staged at this point. And if it is staged, well, you've convinced everyone that it's very, very real. And you're never coming back from it. Anyway, I should have ended this podcast 2 or 3 minutes ago, but I haven't. I was rambling. But yeah, Kanye, his cousin, Kanye's antics, Dave Blunt's. I think we've covered most of Kanye's current status or statuses. I think the next episode will be a little bit more normal. I really want to talk about some of the albums that I've been listening to recently. Some great artists. And I'll leave you off with a recommendation. Lynn Lapid. She just dropped a album called Buzzkill, I think a couple days ago or weeks ago. Definitely not weeks ago. Definitely in this last week. And I've been on Lynn Lapid for a long time. I've been listening to her for the last 3 years or something. And I really enjoy her music. And it's kind of cool to see her now be this big, well, not big, but she's progressively getting bigger. She had an ad spot in Times Square, which says a lot about an artist. So all the power to her. I hope she does well. So that's Lynn Lapid. That's LYNLAPID. And the album's called Buzzkill. And and also check out another artist called Lexa Gates. Lexa Gates is another artist who's blowing up as of recent. She did an On the Radar freestyle, which really garnered her a lot of attention. But she had an album come out called Universe Wrapped in Flesh, I believe. And that album is fucking amazing. I listened to that album probably 10 or 11 times last year in its completion. Really, really great stuff. Her current album, what's it called now? Hold on, I gotta find that now before I end the podcast. Because I really, truly respect this artist. She's really, really good. Lexa Gates. What's the new album called? I'm listening to it all the time. it's in my Apple replay already, consistently. Lexa Gates. Can't type. Okay, here we go. The album is called Elite Vessel. That's exactly what it's called. Elite Vessel. Great fucking album. Amazing album. There's a lot of artists that are out there that can't or they don't hit that same magic that they did with their first albums or like an album previous, right? Like it takes a couple albums to get back into the magic. I can't explain this better, I guess, but like a lot of artists will release a really, really good album, kind of like SZA. I think SZA is a great example. SZA keeps making really good music, but albums as a completion, like as a complete piece. Control is just an amazing album. Like Control is her best album, right? Even though I like SOS, even though I like SOS Deluxe and whatever the fuck that is, like it's like this weird deluxe album, but it's actually its own album and it's not really a deluxe album, but anyway, whatever. Stupid, confusing marketing strategies. Control is her best album, right? So it's really hard to like push the boundaries and make a better album each time. Singles are a different thing. Like songs are a different thing. I think artists can always make better songs, but as a complete project, like as an album, it's very hard to do so. So the fact that Alexa Gates, like she put out Universe Wrapped in Flesh and it was fucking outstanding. And then she doubled down and made a better album with Elite Vessel, like as a complete project. I'm talking like every single song on Elite Vessel is really, really good. Yes, she's definitely a great artist. So I strongly suggest you guys listen to Lynn Lapid, Buzzkill, and Elite Vessel, or Universe Wrapped in Flesh, whatever you want to listen to, by Alexa Gates. Great fucking artists. Those are not the albums that I wanted to talk about in this episode or the previous version of this episode, but I'll get to those other albums in a later episode. Anyway, I've talked too much. It's 46 minutes long. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to me rant about Kanye and Dave Blunt's and his cousin getting top and stealing the laptop. Okay, ciao.